Okay. All right, we're just going to keep going. All right, I hit record too late, but we're going to keep going. Okay, so we've got our mass here of our object. We've got our initial velocity of our first object, which moving in the east direction. So with 2D collisions, we're going to break them into x and y, okay, because we can't mix and match x and y. So if our object is moving purely east, 2.4 meters per second, which it is, that automatically tells us that we don't have any velocity in the y direction for our first object, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to what's happening to that puck after the collision. It says it moves 1.8 meters per second at 30 degrees north of east. So what do we see what do we do whenever we've got something at an angle? What do we need to do if we ever have something at an angle? Yeah, we make our triangle, we break it down into its x component and its y component. So I'm going to come up here and I'll draw my 30 degrees north of east. And if this hypotenuse is 1.8 meters per second, this would be considered like V1y prime, and this bottom side would be like V1x prime. We agree? Right? If this is like V1 prime, that's my speed after my final collision. I want to know what's the x component of that and the y component of that. Okay, so we've got to go back to vector addition here to solve for the parts of that triangle. Okay, so for V1x prime, I'll take 1.8 times cosine of 30, and I get about 1.6. And is any of these moving in the negative direction? No, we got to be careful with that, but none of ours are right now. Then V1y prime, I would take 1.8 times sine of 30, and I get 0.9. Okay, any questions about how we got the components for our first object? Will we ever plug 1.8 into our equation anywhere? No. 1.8 will never go into our momentum equation because we broke down that triangle to get these components. Right? We're never going to use 1.8 in our problem anywhere. So I would suggest maybe crossing that out, right? So we don't see it and want to plug it in somewhere. If it's at an angle, we've got to break it down into x and y. Okay? So let's look at our second object. Our second object weighs 0.3 kilograms. It is first at rest. And then we want to know what's the speed and angle of the second puck. So let's go ahead and start writing out our list for our second object. M2 is 0.3. What are V2x and V2y both going to be equal to? They're both going to be 0 because my object is at rest. Okay? And then V2x prime and V2y prime are going to be what we're solving for, right? We want to know what's the speed and angle of our second puck. So we have to find out the information about our second puck. And then we're going to be able to build a new triangle based on V2x prime and V2y prime to tell us what's our final speed, right? So go ahead and kind of think about this in your mind so we can get an idea of what we're expecting here, right? My object is moving east, right? So maybe just kind of do it with your hand. My object is moving east. It's going to hit this object, which is at rest, right? This is the first one, the second one. Do this. After it happens, after it hits, this one goes this direction. So where do we think the second puck's probably going to go? Right? I'm going to guess it's probably going to go somewhere southeast. Would you guess that? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Right. Okay, when we say southeast, we don't mean like fall downward. I just mean like if you were looking at an overhead view of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking at it above, right? This one's probably going to go there. It could end up going both north, but I think that would be kind of far-fetched, right? Just think about if that collision happens. If one of them is pushing it to the north, the other one's probably going to be pushed a little bit south. Would there be any possibility that the second puck would move west? Would go backwards? Right, that would seem really, really not probable, right? Unlikely. Okay, so let's solve that just with that kind of idea of what's going to happen in our head. And we're going to go ahead and solve it. So I'm going to give myself some room here. And I'll show you how I organize myself to solve these problems. It doesn't mean you have to organize yourself the same way. But I'll show you how I do it. And it's not anything like special necessarily. But if I'm solving the x direction, I like to give myself just a little workspace, and I say momentum in the X direction, and then I kind of give myself just some brackets to work. I don't really know why I draw the bracket. It makes it cleaner for me to think about what's happening in the X direction. Okay, and then I start plugging in my equation for my collision. Is it going to be elastic or inelastic? Elastic, right? Because it's ending up apart, right? And it's on your slide, okay? But it's elastic, okay? They're ending up separately. So an elastic collision is M1 times V1, and we're only looking at X categories right now, right? We've only got our eyes on X categories right now, okay? So V1 times V1X, M1 times V1X plus M2 times V2X, which is 0, equals M1 times V1X prime plus M2 times V2X prime. Okay, any questions about how we found those numbers or where they came from, right? We're only looking at X values here. So now I'm going to take some math. 1.2 equals 0.8 plus 0.3 V2X prime, right? I'm just doing the math. This one's a 0, so it falls out. I'll subtract that 0.8 to the other side, and that leaves me with 0.4 equals 0.3 V2X prime. And so when I divide that 0.3 over, that gives me a V2X prime of 1.33 meters per second. Okay, and this was an X variable. It came out positive. So what direction do you think that means we're leaning toward, or our X direction is going? East or west, right? It's east. So I like to draw myself a little arrow just to give myself a picture. And isn't that what we were expecting? We were expecting this second puck to move east, and then we're going to see in our next section, is it going to be moving up or down, right? North or south. So now let's look at momentum in the Y direction. Okay, I use P just because that's the variable for momentum. And we're going to use the same equations, but now we're going to be looking at our Y variables. Okay, so this is M1 times V1Y plus M2 times V2Y equals M1 times V1Y prime plus M2 times V2Y prime. Okay, are we feeling pretty good about the variables themselves? V2Y prime, we know what those mean. Okay, all right, good. So the whole left side of my equation was 0 because at the beginning, vertically, nothing is happening, right? Or north-south, nothing is happening. So 0.5 times 0.9, I don't know, 0.45. Okay, 0.45 plus 0.3 V2Y prime. I'll subtract that 0.45 over, so that gives me negative 0.45 equals 0.3 V2Y prime. And so when I do that, I get V2Y prime equal to negative 1.5. Okay, so what direction does it mean that we're going, in the y-axis? South, right? And that's kind of what we expected, right? Based on just the visual of what we're used to with collisions, that's kind of what we expected. So we're almost done, right? These two values give us the components of our final velocity, right? It gives us the components of our final velocity. So we come down here, we say, okay, my second puck's going to go east and it's going to go south. And so here's going to be the actual triangle, okay? So, or here's the actual speed. So the component is going to the east and the component is going to the south. And so this hypotenuse is what is actually happening to the puck, right? Are we good with that part of it? 1.33 east and then 1.5 south. So I'm going to find the hypotenuse of that triangle and I'm going to find the angle as well. So hypotenuse is using Pythagorean theorem. We don't have to include the negative here, right? The negative just told us to go south, which we did. So I think the hypotenuse of this comes out to 2 meters per second. And then I'm going to find the angle. Do you remember how to find that angle? Second tangent, right, of opposite, 1.5 divided by adjacent. And so I get about 2 meters per second at 48 degrees south of east. All right, so a long problem, right? Right, for finding that angle, this would be your opposite side. This would be your adjacent side right there. Okay? We always want to find the angle that's touching the origin. All right, so we found that angle right there. Right there. Opposite and adjacent. Okay. So, yes, long problems, but the actual math behind it is not that difficult, right? It's nothing that we don't already know how to do. We know how to break down triangles into x and y. We know how to solve for collision in our momentum equation. We just got to put those two things together. And then in our final product, we're going to sometimes have to end up building that triangle, right? If we end up with two components, an x component and a y, we're going to have to build that new triangle. The only situation in which we would not have to build a new triangle is if one of our components came out to be 0 and it said like our object was moving purely west or purely south or whatever it might be. Okay. Okay, a 7-kilogram object moving 12 meters per second east explodes into 2 unequal parts. The 5-kilogram fragment moves 15 meters per second south after the explosion. What's the velocity of the second fragment? So we can think of this a couple different ways. We can think of it as one 7-kilogram object at the beginning that breaks into, here's my 5 kilogram, it's going to go south. My 2 kilograms is going to have to go somewhere else, right? We can think of it like that as one object at the beginning, or at the beginning we could still think of it as as 2 objects that just happen to be traveling close together and at the same speed. What's preferable for you? Would you rather just keep them separate as 5 and 2? Or would you prefer to keep them as, 7 at the beginning and then split them? 7 at the beginning and then split them. Okay, it makes no difference the way you do it because the math comes out the same, right? But we can go ahead and do that. So it's almost like you're doing a reverse inelastic collision here, right? You're just starting with one mass and, velocity, and then we're going from there. So we can do it either way. You can keep them separate at 5 and 2, or you can keep them combined and have 7 at the beginning and then split it. So you guys wanted to keep it at 7 kilograms. So that means the mass at the beginning is 7. The Vx at the beginning is 12. And Vy is 0. Right? Are we good with that part? Okay, so now let's talk about when they split. Right? When they split. These would be like our initial things. Okay? When they split, M1 equals 5, M1x prime, and V1y prime. We have those values, right? The 5 kilogram fragment moved 15 meters per second south after the explosion. So after the explosion, do I have a V1x prime? It's moving just south. So V1y prime is negative 15. Let me write that negative a little bit clearer. Negative 15, and V1x prime would be 0. Right? What questions do we have so far about setting it up like this? Anything so far? Okay. My second object has to have a mass of 2, right? Why would it have a mass of 2? These two have to add up together to the total, right? So that means after the collision, my 2 kilogram piece, we don't know what happened to it. So that's going to be like our question mark. Okay, so let's go ahead and start setting this up, because I know this part right here can be a little tricky if we keep it together at the beginning. But let me show you how that works. Okay, so let me give myself some room here. All right, so the way we're going to set this up, let's look at our x direction first. Momentum in the x direction. All right, we said that our object is whole at the beginning, and at the beginning it's moving 12 meters per second. So that's all we need to do on the left-hand side, because we're treating our two objects as one at the beginning, right? The other way we could have done this would be to say 5 times 12 plus 2 times 12, right? The math comes out the same. So we're just going to keep them together. 7 times 12, okay? My first object is 5 kilograms, but it's moving south after the collision, so my V1x is 0. My second object, we're going to solve for V2x prime. Okay, so 7 times 12 is, I don't know what, 84? Is that what it is? 84 equals 2 times V2x prime. So 84 divided by 2 is 42. Is that right? V2x prime is 42. And it came out positive. My x component came out positive. So what direction does that mean we're heading? East. Right. All right. Very good. Now let's look in the y direction. Okay. At the beginning, my entire object, is it moving in the y direction at all? No. So it's all got a 0 there. Now I'm looking at y components here. So my 5 kilogram object is moving negative 15. My 2 kilogram object, we don't know what's happening to it. So I'm going to do the math here to work it out. 15 times 5. So that'd be negative 75 plus 2 V2y prime. All of that equals 0. So I'm going to add 75 to the other side and then divide by 2. And I get 37.5. And that's going to be in the positive direction. V2y prime equals 37.5 in the positive direction. So let's visualize that, right? We've got this object. After the collision, the bigger chunk of it goes south. So does it make sense that our littler object is moving to the north and to the east, right? Is that at least rational? Okay, we want to make sure we're double checking to see, like, does it at least seem like feasible? Could it happen? And I think it could. So now our last step is to do what? Build the triangle. These are the sides or the component of our final velocity, but we don't have our final velocity just yet. Right? It goes 42 east. And it goes 37.5 north. And so that solid blue line, is our actual velocity of our second object, right? Of our 2 kilogram object. We want to find out what is that value. We've got to have the hypotenuse and the angle to give our final full velocity. So we're going to solve this using Pythagorean theorem. Solve for the hypotenuse using Pythagorean theorem. And that can't be right. 42.4? Is that what you guys got? No, that can't be right. Oh, I forgot to square one of mine. Okay, never mind. 42 squared plus 37.5 squared. How about 56? 56.3 meters per second. Okay, so if I do second tangent here to solve for my angle, I'm going to go opposite over adjacent. Right? Second tangent of 37.5 divided by 42. And that gives me an angle of 41.8 degrees. What is that? North of east. Okay, you could have also had the complementary angle if you would have drawn it the other direction. I think on your sheet, it has 48 degrees east of north. That just means we went north first and then east to draw our triangle. Both of them give us the same final destination.